great toys like this and more, head over to Big Bad Toy Store. Click the link in the description below.
What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at FT-09 Tesla, the Fanstoys Tesla, otherwise known as you've probably already guessed, it's Preceptor. And I gotta say, right out of this box, this guy is very, very impressive looking. I do have a couple repro labels on him, just to kind of give him a little of extra details, but really, he's got some really nice paintwork on here, a couple different shades of silver. The nice breakup of color. Really, it's only the couple shades of silver that they really did, but it looks nice, and they gave this a little bit of color there. Obviously, there was no Autobot symbol, but they did give you the place for it to just go right in on there, and yeah, it just really looks good. The head sculpt looks really nice too. Very much Preceptor. They did a good job here. I really like this guy, but he's not without flaws. But we'll get to that in a couple minutes, I suppose. Inside the box, you do get extra pieces here for the arms and the legs here if you want to put it in, I believe it's toy color. I'm not terribly concerned about those, so they'll probably never be removed from this bag here. And he comes with this big gun. And it seems like accessories is kind of one of the downfalls of Fanstoys. Because when you put this in, it does not, they still have not figured out how to make this thing really just grip in there. Like, they used the tab, and it's in there okay, and you could close it, but the very slightest jostle, especially if it were on his shelf and he's holding it, the slightest little thing just like knocks it right out of his hand. And then we also have this one problem, and it's definitely prevalent with this hand. I don't know if it's prevalent with the other hand, but the weight of the gun is too heavy for that joint. So you can see it just pulls it down. So I tend to just leave this one in the box. This particular accessory I think looks better on Preceptor anyway. And being that it's lighter weight, it seems to work better. Let's actually see if this arm can hold it. I've never tried it in this arm. Yeah, so even this one is succumbing to the weight of this gun. So you made an accessory that your characters just can't hold. I don't know. I don't like when they do that. Overall, it looks nice, you know, with the blue on the front, and, you know, it's nice looking. It almost looks like they painted this so well that it looks like it's a separate piece, but it's not. It'd be kind of cool if it was. That's asking a lot. Now, onto this gun here, I don't know if it's supposed to come off, but mine just pulls right out here, and I guess maybe it's kind of representing the missiles, or it's just that they didn't glue it in. And this is, like I said, the accessories tend to not get a whole bunch of care from Fanstoys, it seems. And the last thing I want to address is actually in the assembly process, my Fanstoys Preceptor here actually had the wrong door on one of his hands. I forget which one. So you couldn't actually transform his finger properly. I actually had to file it down and stuff, but thankfully BBTS sent me a replacement arm to just replace the whole piece, and it's been a lot better since. Yeah, so that's pretty much him in a nutshell. Before we go on to his articulation here, let's actually bring out a official MP and this red alert, and I think that scaling looks pretty good. I think Preceptor should be a little bit bigger. Yeah, so I think that looks pretty okay. So let's talk articulation here. We'll start with the Microscope. It is on its own set of joints back here, so you can kind of fold it away if you want a cleaner looking Preceptor. You can change which shoulder you have it on if that pleases you. I mean, maybe you want them looking over that way and you don't want this, you know, in the way. You certainly have those options. It's a really nice system that they put this on. We'll just leave that out for now. As we look on a little further. One thing that strikes me is I believe these pieces were to make the toy. I kind of wish that he had like a spin around head or something like that, so we could put like a toy type head on there. And yeah, they just don't have it. And this is another thing, and I've just noticed this now. This face is very loose. I can actually pull it down from its helmet there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's definitely moving there. So I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, head is on an up and down swivel, not much, but enough to be normal, I guess, and a 360 here. Your shoulders are jointed with a hinge there, and they spin this way, and all the time if you try to move it, you'll end up accidentally mistransforming them and pulling out this little thing here when you're trying to, you know, bend his elbow or something like that. So be aware that this does pop out relatively easily. You do have a bicep swivel. I believe that it is a double jointed. The top joint is very hard to use, but a double jointed elbow so you can actually get 90 degrees. But that does just look atrocious looking, so I pretty much limit it to just one because I think that at least looks better. Even then, it would have been nice if maybe there was something right here to kind of fill this in a little more. You would have to done more with this hand, but I would have liked to have seen that. Coming down the hands, it does rotate here, and you see that door is opening. And then you do have individual finger, just whole finger articulation, which I'm fine with. I just don't like the ball jointed fingers, but that's nice. Coming down here, you saw the chest opens. He does have waist articulation. We can take these armor pieces and kind of move them out of the way, but they tend not to hamper things too much, and the back ones don't do anything. But you can get about that far back on his leg here, and then all the way forward. And then a really nice thing here, you can actually give him his whole Preceptor kick, and based on the die cast in his feet, he ends up actually being able to stand. I can't get him to do it right now. There we go. He's standing on his own, see, no hands. But yeah, so he gets a good range there. And then you do have the knee joint here and a swivel at the knee. And then he's got the squeaks. I would like to take care of him, but I don't want him to lose his ability to stand properly. Down here, you do have the ankle pivot here with a rotation. Oh, I thought you had a rotation down at the bottom. I'm sorry, you don't. Just the ankle pivot here. And then the toes and the heel spurs pivot in and out. So definitely these parts are the most bothersome part of his robot mode, because they sound like they lock, but they really don't. If this was one thing I would wish they would have improved upon, it would have been this here. But whatever. He's still a darn good Preceptor in his robot mode. Alright, so let's get this Tesla into his boxy telescope mode. So we're going to start by doing, well actually let's not start by doing that. Let's actually get this open, which is a lot easier to do than when you start transforming the hand. But we'll take that, fold the thumb down, and fold the hand down. And as you can see, the way this is made, they have extra support at the top and a little bit at the bottom. And what that's intended to do, you can see that it gives just enough clearance for the hand to fold in, and then that can fold closed. So if you have the wrong door on there, that hand is not going to fold in. So let's do that again on this other side here. Open this on up, fold this down, and fold it in, and close it. So now we'll come to the telescope part here, or the microscope part I should say. We'll unpeg that, and I can never figure out which way this goes because it always ends up getting moved in transformation. But for now, we'll just leave it like this and out of the way. We're going to then take these arms, and they go straight up like this. Fold this kind of open, and then this whole piece will drop back like so. Now this usually takes me a couple goes before I can figure out exactly how his head fits in there, in this space here, because we're going to have to swing these on in. So you take this and you kind of bring it down like that, I believe, and then you should be able to clear these pieces over and fold them in like this. And it's a little difficult to actually get them to clip in, and you have to kind of do it at the same time with the way that these two pieces come together. But there you go. You clip them in like this, and then this should fold up, and see, once again, things are kind of in the way, but they should come past these pieces and tab in on each side here, and there you go. You got that part just like this. So now we're going to take these pieces, we'll fold them to the sides, and then we can figure out what we have to do here with the microscope. I believe that we want this right between these little blue bars just to kind of hold it in place. There we go. Now we got that done, and we'll go ahead and pull this on up and pull that. Put this out first, by the way. There we go, because that's your little mirror for the microscope here, and we can go ahead and lock that in place. So now we're pretty much done with the top. Not terribly interesting looking, obviously. So we'll come down to the legs here. So the legs, you have to take them. I always kind of forget how these go. You take these and you rotate them around just like this, and then bring them down, bring this flap, and the little tab on the flap is gonna tab in right there. It doesn't tab in really hard, it's just kind of there to show you you have it in the right place. So bring it up, flip it around, bring this back down, and make sure that it's in the right place, just like that. Alright, sorry about that, had to sneeze. So anyway, we're going to take this and we're going to fold these on closed like that. Fold this open, fold out the little tread here, and then I have a heck of a time trying to get these things out. They seem to have gotten at least a little bit easier the more I've messed with it, but you pull out that little wheel here. Once you have that, this piece collapses in and it collapses in, and we'll go ahead and turn that like this. And as you can see, this little tab here is going to go right into the tab on this leg, and the last piece you need to do to finish the leg here is bring this little assembly forward just like that. And there we go, we got one leg done. So we'll do that again the other side, collapse the foot here, open this on up, fold that up, try to get this little wheel out. And the problem with the wheel is, it's like when I actually can get it to a point that I can put my finger on it, my finger just helps push it right back into the plate, its storage spot there. So there we go, we got that. Rotate this, bring it on around. Rotate this little panel around and out of the way here. And then the final thing to do on this is to go ahead and flip out the little back wheel. And there we go. We've got our Preceptor in his telescope mode. And yeah, he looks like Preceptor in telescope mode, which is kind of, you know, a box-shaped thing that is vaguely in the form of a microscope. I keep saying telescope. I keep meaning to say microscope. And what is cool about this, and I forgot to show it in his robot mode, is this dial actually does turn this. And you actually can see, and it appears that it does magnify. I don't actually know if you could actually see anything any better with it. I don't know. Find out. Can we? No, it's really just like distorted looking. You're really not going to see anything. But definitely does look like it magnifies and stuff. So, very cool. Especially, you know, you can't say anything good or bad about it because it's Preceptor. If I'm going to say something bad, it's that there's no place to put any of these excess weapons. So, for whatever this scale is worth to you, here he is next to an MP car. So you can see he is, well, a relatively big microscope because that's Preceptor. Now the thing I find kind of interesting about Preceptor is he does have these built-in tank treads and stuff, and I have not tried. The G1 version had like a tank mode basically, where the magnifying glass was the actual tank treads. I am sure if you were really interested in it, you could actually make something like that happen as a fan mode with this. I mean, it's already kind of there, we just have to bring the legs down and around in a way that would kind of make sense, and I'm sure you could call it a tank mode, but the instructions do not actually give you any formal tank mode. So yeah, it's a very cool toy. If you're into Preceptor, he's a must-have. If you're into Masterpiece, it's a must-have. So let's get this guy transformed back into his robot mode, and let's get out of here. We'll just start by folding these things on up. We'll undo the legs here. Bring these down. Drop them on the desk. And fold that up here. The dropping on the desk part is actually an optional step. In the book, you don't actually have to do that if you don't want to. I just find it helps because I'm clumsy. Anyway, so we'll open this up so we can actually flip this thing on around and bring it back down there. Really got to get some kind of lubrication in there. It sounds awful, but I don't know. I'm not really too worried about it breaking. Bring it around and down and bring the feet the proper way. Flip these little pieces on up. Open up this panel here. Open up this other panel here. Fold this on in all the way. Fold the tank tread and fold this closed. And something is not sitting right. There we go. Fold that open. And we got one foot done. So we'll do that to the other side. I flipped that foot piece out. Open this all the way. Oops. Open this other piece. Fold this on in. Fold this. Fold it down, and that door is super tight on this side. That does kind of worry me on that one. Anyway, fold that open just like that. There we go. We've got his legs. I know I mentioned it before. Die cast in the feet, so he's very sturdy and bottom heavy. We'll take this, fold this back out of the way. We can fold it actually down. This does slide down for this mode. And plug it in just like so. And that'll give us the room to unpeg these. These feel like extremely large tabs to peg into here, like almost feels a little worrisome, but I guess it has to be because it's the only way to kind of make these shoulders work. So anyway, once we have that, pop these on out all the way into the open there, fold his head back up and around and pull it down and out. Then we can go ahead and close this up just like so and clip his shoulders in to form like the support for his head. Now we got that. We'll go ahead and drop this, bring his arms back around, and we'll go ahead and flip out his fists, which are always like one of the worst things on a Transformer toy for me to mess with. And this is the official Hail Hasbro Shattered Cast Uncut keychain. If you don't have yours, it's well worth the I think they're $10. You should totally get one. It is the official Shattered Cast Uncut Fiddly Bit Extractor. Yeah. So get one. It's pretty cool. Help out the show. There we go. And he's done. So that is our Preceptor, and I can see somewhere along the way I bumped it. I apologize. And the camera rotated out of the way. But hopefully everything was at least on camera while we were transforming them. Definitely a masterpiece toy. I would just like to see Fanstoys get a little bit better at some of these little minor QC issues that they seem to have with their characters. Because Tesla is certainly no... he's not exempt from that problems they have, but he's definitely, I think, a step in the right direction. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next week.